Wagwan gang, back in this thing. You tuned into the Tasmania show with Taz Tycoon. And if you really gang, bang the like button, dog. Like, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. Tell me what you want to see on the channel. I want to say shout out to Tazzy's Baddies. You already know we good in every hood. Make sure y'all cop y'all merch. I got chocolate, cream, strawberry, all flavors you already know. Today, we're talking about something a little nasty. Celina, Powell, and Offset. I ain't gonna hold you. I've seen Shorty name a couple of times. I don't know nothing about her. I really just be minding my business. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Tazzy's Baddies. But, you know, I don't know nothing much about her, but I've seen her name come up in a couple of different conversations, and I don't know what she does. Like I said, so I'm only speaking about how messy the things look. But what I saw on the internet, you got to be careful who you pillow talking with, who you sleeping with, who you talking to, because niggas is chatty patties for real. Like, you think somebody's your friend, you think somebody wants to see you win, but there's some people that are secretly just hating on your family, on your career. Like, there's some people that just want to, if you taking so many W's, they just want to see you take a L. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fan of Offset first and foremost. His last body of work, what was that? They know he did an album. He was just on tour with NBA YoungBoy. The album, Kiari, his name, that album, he snapped with different species on there. That was a really solid project. And then Set It Off. I think he was still with Cardi at that time, father of four. Even like with the Migos, rest in peace, Takeoff. Like I felt like over time I got, you know, privy. Shout out to my homie Easy from New York. He was always a Takeoff fan. But you know, you see Quavo as a standout, but Offset, you know, he has had a very interesting journey. And I just think that, you know, just going back a little bit from when he decided that when he was in jail, he was the Migo member that was in jail, and then they took off. And then, you know, you hear speculations of him wanting to leave QC for whatever reasons. And then you see videos come out of Young Thug and Baby talking about QC wasn't doing good business. So who knows, right? He wanted to leave. And around the same time that Offset wanted to leave is when it's like, okay, you know Offset from being a member of the Migos, but then you also have Offset who was dating Cardi B. I think Cardi was still in Love and Hip Hop at the time. They had just started dating. So then you have, I think it's around motorsport time, you see Offset is still in Amigos, but he has his relationship, and now his relationship has sent him into another level, and he just kept ascending. I was watching this Brandon. He was on a fashion TV show called The Hype, you know, so it was looking like, you know, he was very progressive. During the process, there was a lot that was going on with his marriage and then breaking up and things like that, and then Takeoff passes away. So if y'all have been under a rock, I didn't do any episodes on this, but Cardi B and Offset, y'all know they broke up last year. Cardi B, Welcome to Baby. With Stefan Diggs, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to them, you know, love and life. But they're still married, right? That's a whole, I don't know if I even need to go back to do anything. Because like I said, I'm not here for gossip. I'm just giving my perspective on, you know, what it is that's going on. But yeah, you know, they popped up at the Knicks game, had a baby and everything. And, you know, she had her baby, you know, around the holidays. And then there's some allegations that come out about Stefan Diggs and strangulation. Now, mind you, I'm not just trying to go down the rabbit hole of just talking about chaos and drama. It's really about recapping how we got here. So as you're hearing about him being investigated, you know, he's on his way to the playoffs, you know, with hopes of making it to the Super Bowl. And then he was supposed to have a hearing on the 23rd, right? So you hear all these things in the headlines about Cardi B's boyfriend, Stefan Diggs, in this situation. But then fast forward, Cardi B's Am I the Drama? Shout out to her album. She's about to go on tour. I need to get tickets to that. Shout out to Cardi. Come do some media coverage. But then fast forward, you have Offset now in a situation with Celina Powell. The thing that kind of caught me off guard is Shorty took a picture of him laying in the bed. First and foremost, if you laying with anybody, shout out to Tazzy's Baddies. If you laying up with anybody that's taking pictures of you, and like there's some shorties that's just hype. That's just like, yo, calm down. I've talked to shorties before. They want to post pictures. They want to just show like, yo, relax, calm down. It's not that deep. But she's in the bed right now. We talking about real receipts, and he's like laid out, and she's taking selfies and stuff like that. And I'm like, dang. She goes onto her podcast. I don't know nothing about it, but that's where all the tea came out. But some of the things, like, you got to pay attention to what people are saying and how they're looking at you and what's going on. I'm not, like, for example, Cardi said a lot of this when she was dating Offset, that there's some chicks that just really want to fuck her man because it's like, yo, I'd had sex with Cardi B's man. There's some women that get off on being a side chick. They's like, yo, you don't want that turkey? I'll be your mac and cheese. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if I say the entree ain't as good as what some... The entree ain't as good without something on the side. There's some joints out here that are like, you know what I'm saying, presidential side piece. It's like they the first side piece, not the first lady, the side piece. And when I was listening to some of the things that she was saying, it almost sounded, I'm not saying that she doesn't have any interest in Offset, but she had a couple of things, you know, that she was mentioning about Cardi, which I kind of thought was a little weird. So in the video, with her, on the podcast with her friend, she said that her and Offset have a tape. Now, if there is a tape, the video of him laying right there in the bed, if he might have a tape that he didn't even consent to be honest. So if the sex tape is coming next, I don't know if it's like, yo, we trying to trade clout for clout, because it's like, I ain't gonna lie, Cardi B's level up and what she's got going on. I think they asked Offset in the interview, you know, has anybody ever leveled up after they got with you? He was like, I don't know a chick that's leveled up. We talking about Cardi B's in Castle. She's at NFL games. It's different from dating an athlete and a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, just in general. Or if you're both. You know what I'm saying? Like a Damian Lillard. Like, if you could do both, it's great. But there's a different level of discipline and focus that comes into that. You could see the transition from Gunna, you know what I'm saying, from just being a rapper to being into fitness now. But the thing that was a little bit disturbing is she knew so much about the kids. Like, you know, apparently Culture hadn't seen, like Offset hadn't seen the kids in a while. And the only way that he can apparently talk to Blossom, their newest baby, the most recent baby that they had, is through Culture. And Culture says she hadn't met Stefan. And it's just like all these different things where it's like, you really got to know who's in your crew, like who's giving out information. But there was a video that she premiered on her podcast that was a little disturbing. He didn't say any names, but he wanted to cause harm to somebody. He was like, if I catch Buddy, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be bad for him. You know, I mess around, shoot him in the knee. Shooting him in the knee is like very specific. He's an athlete, you know what I'm saying? So even if he didn't say his name, it's like, yo, where there's smoke, there's fire. Like, it's probably like, yo, it's right over there. You know what I'm saying? It's him. Like, he's the person. But it doesn't make Cardi's case look good. There's been a couple of times Cardi said that, you know, he's obsessive, he's controlling. And then you have somebody else that's out to expose you down to to finances, right? Cardi said a lot about Offset financially stealing money from his mom stealing money. And one of the things Celina exposed is like him asking her for money, like, yo, how much money do you have? And I think he was like, well, how much money do you have? Like, pull up. He messaged her on Christmas, like, can you cash at me? Can you Zelle me? And it's like, where you think things is low, somebody is actually really waiting to expose you. You know what I'm saying? They calling Offset upset. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some people that want to see you lose everything. And especially if, like, let's say you did a girl wrong. Like, she might just be out for revenge. And I don't know why all these rappers and people always want to hit the same joint. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I heard on the interview, like I said, I don't know much about Shorty, but I heard a clip about her, like, in the, you know what I'm saying, tossing dude salads and stuff like that. And it just be like, y'all want all the same people. I've never been the type of person that wanted to wear the same things that people wear, go to same places, listen to the same things. I like when somebody like, who that? Where's she from? You don't even, once I'm done, I'm off that, you know? But I don't have I don't pursue GP shorties. You know what I'm saying? I'm a private figure. But when you expose yourself, like I said, it's always two sides to the story. From what we've seen, it seemed like Cardi went through a lot. It seems like she's in a happy space, but a lot of the allegations about Offset and money and his control, it's almost like the narrative is leaning into that. And I ain't gonna hold you. Something that I've just seen perspective wise is that Shorty's getting a get back. You know what I'm saying? Like, right now, like, so if I look, and I'm not trying to bring everybody else in it. Everybody wants that Russell Wilson Sierra love, right? But then you have people that have been cheated on and they popping out and they not like showing no remorse. It's like, yo, like it was an era where that might hurt a dude's pride. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a Cash Doll and a Tracy T. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a Tiana Taylor and Iman. And I'm not saying that people break up, they move on, life goes on. It is what it is. But like, there's been a lot of antics and things that are coming out where dudes will act, you know what I'm saying, like they not hurt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to have your heart broken and stuff like that, but ego and pride is like you going to go play with somebody else's feelings and emotions and get up under somebody to get over somebody, and it's just messy energy. You have children. You know, like I said, when I think about like Offset specifically, from leaving Migos to losing Takeoff, you lost your wife. Hey, man, he might need to just take a break. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, sometimes when you push through the body of work, Kiari, that was amazing body of work. But when it gets to this point, hey, you slipping. That ain't even P. Like, for you to be caught up like that. And it's like, if she did that, she's probably got more on you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just be careful about who you pillow talking with. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of chatty patties out here. It's a lot of people out here that just don't want to see you win. Like I said, it's a nasty year. We coming out of year of the snake and the year of the horse. So just giddy up and get your stuff together. But make sure if you really gang, you bang that like button. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my Tazzies, baddies. You know I love y'all. We love all flavors. Like, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and show some love to your favorite female rapper, Taz Tycoon. You watching the Tasmania show? Let's go.
Tycoon running up the score. Tazzies, baddies on the floor. And that ass is super fatty. Call me Zaddy, throw some more. Super nasty, she a savage, slaughter, fuck her like a whore. Popping bottles, foreign models, Tycoon on the world tour. Shorty, what you bad for? Turn this to a hit-a-thon. Damn, all your bitches bad, tell them they can come along.